Previously on the last Pokemon Challenge. It's all just made up and lies and not a particularly honest region. And coming up, the ugly man. The ugly man? He is an ugly man. Welcome back to another 4 moves challenge. We ran Magmortar in the last one through crystals, so let's run Electivire through crystal today. I've gone for Thunderbolt, Ice Punch, Cross Chop and Flamethrower as the 4 moves for this challenge, and they will see us through to the very end of the run, come hell or high water. Now, I am expecting Electivire to do very well. We've seen Electivire a couple of times on stream in the past, and it's always challenged that kind of top 10% of runs. I'm not sure it'll make it right to the very top, but we have very good special attack and even better physical attack. And I do feel a little bit bad for only having Cross Chop as our physical attacking move, but it just stands to reason throughout most of this game. Special attacks do a lot better. Cross Chop will have to come in clutch though. There are a few times where Cross Chop will be the answer to the question presented to us. And you may also notice on the back of Electivire there we have the 3-pin plug, because I am from the United Kingdom and the 3-pin plug is the best plug. So yes, this is a British Electivire. Take from that what you will. Now, I don't think any of the Johto gyms are really going to cause any issues at all. We've got an answer for every single trainer. We'll probably hold on to a Persecure Berry just in case for Clair, but most of the time we'll be racing through. The only real threat, I think, is going to be Red and maybe Karen. Karen could throw a spanner in the works if we get sand attacked, if Cross Chop misses. Other than that, it's going to be a smooth run. I'm going to try my best to get a top 10 time overall. Definitely going to get in the top 10 for the 4 moves runs, but everything else is up for debate. I'm going to be trying hard ostensibly, and I don't really do try hard runs too often, so there's a little bit of extra pressure on myself that I'm going to try and ignore that I've said that and just play normally and hope that playing normally gets me roughly to where I need to be. Into gym number 1 we go. This is, of course, Falkner's flying type gym. We don't outspeed the Spearow, which is annoying, but we should outspeed pretty much everything else that we come across now. Spearow is a massive threat, all things considered here in Gen 2. It is a lot harder than Falkner's Pokemon. Let's now take Falkner on, talking of him. Leads with Pidgey. Pidgey's a 1-hit. Out comes Pidgeotto. It's also a 1-hit. Were you expecting anything less? Level 9 acquired and the Zephyr badge in 2 minutes and 32 seconds. With that, we shall leave. We'll get the call from Elm and we'll go straight into the Pokemon Center. Not going to bother healing, just going to go straight for the escape rope. And then we'll make our way down south towards Azalea Town. Now, I am planning August a little bit more in detail now. I'm still feeling like Legendaries and Mythicals are going to be the way to go. It's going to be a very interesting time taking them through games where they weren't really supposed to be initially. So that is the plan for August. If you do like that, remember to click subscribe. And let me know what you want to see in September. Now is the time to start thinking about the autumn runs. We've got Halloween in just a few months, haven't we? Maybe 3 months at the time of release, but that's going to fly by. So we do need to start planning, and I need to start getting Christmas planned. Sorry for mentioning it in the middle of Northern Hemisphere summer, but Christmas is creeping up on us. I've got to get my Christmas backports done in whatever games we decide, and that's probably going to take months like normal, because I generally tend to do very, very, very extravagant stuff for Christmas. I loved Arctozolt. That was my favourite Christmas run we've ever done. It was just so OP, and the freeze luck we got in that run through the league. Oh, I wish we could get that kind of luck again. I'm chasing the high from that luck every single run we've done since. I've not quite achieved that high yet, but you never know, it might happen again at some point in the future. It was very much a blessed run in the Christmas period. Only 1 more rocket left to go after this one. This is going to be just a waste of everybody's time, really. There's no real point in these rockets. We have to do them to progress the storyline. We get through at level 13. And now we can go in to Bugsy's gym next. Quick detour first, because I forgot to get the repels. So let's get ourselves 7 repels, and then we'll go into Bugsy's gym. We don't want to bear our ass to the world going through the Ilex Forest, because then we'll get loads of encounters, and we'll have a really slow time. I'm going to do full trainers in this gym. We've got Flamethrower. We can ignite them, as we enjoy doing so often here in this gym. So it makes sense to do all of them, because we're going to get some free experience that way, and all these battles are very, very, very short battles. Only a few seconds apiece, so we might as well take advantage. Oh, we low-rolled on that Beedrill. That's not very pleasant of it. But we'll take revenge on Bugcatcher Josh's poor Paris here. I love Paris, but it's so bad. Let's take on Bugsy, Gym Leader number 2. Bug-type Specialist leads with Metapod. 1 hit on the Metapod gets us started. 1 hit on the Kakuna, and then it's going to be a 2-shot possibly. No, a 1-shot on the Scyther, getting up to level 16 as well. Hive Badge acquired in 5:47. I remember the days when a 10-minute Bugsy split felt quick. Now we're pushing 5 minutes. Rival number 2 time. This time he leads with Ghastly. Ghastly goes away. Out comes the Bayleaf. We'll use Flamethrower twice. We've been poisoned, which is pesky rather than anything too tragic. And now I have messed up slightly, but it's fine. We get through, and we do need to make sure that we heal that poison. Did I pick up the Scamtidote? No, I didn't. But we do have a full heal. Let's just make sure we don't get poisoned in the future. That's the way to deal with that. Off to reunite this Farfetch'd. The code for this is one of the most complex pieces of code in all of Generation 2. I can't get my head around it. I've been wanting for my ROM hack to create something similar, but no, it's just confusing. I haven't really sat down to properly examine the code. It's just like so many lines that I'm thinking, absolutely not. Not gonna bother. Instead, I'll do something different. Not gonna bother with Sweet Scent today either. There's our random Abra that we don't really need, because we have the HM items these days. We will heal here in Goldenrod City. We'll go and get the bike. And then we'll do our standard Golden Underground. Goldenrod Underground. I wish it was Golden Underground. Be able to get lots of money for vitamins that way. But no, it is just the Goldenrod Underground. Is Goldenrod a tree? Because I know that all the other places are named after trees, aren't they? But I don't know what the Goldenrod tree is. I've never really thought of that until now. I'm going to assume it's a tree. Must look that up after this challenge. See what type of tree the Goldenrod tree is. I'm surprised actually as well that like we've got all these tree names, but I don't think any of them are in Minecraft trees, and they've got so many of those these days that I am very, very, very surprised. Now also apologies if my voice is a little bit hoarse today. I have taken all the antihistamines I can get my hands on, but the pollen count is through the roof. It's been very, very hot by United Kingdom standards here for the last couple of weeks. But now all that pollen that's been in the atmosphere is slowly descending. So the pollen today is hideous. So I'm going to try my best to work through it and hope that I don't sound too unwell. I sound a lot worse than I feel, as is often the case with these kind of things. I've got a kind of very, very deep timbre to my voice at the moment that I'm hoping isn't too off-putting. At least I don't need the fan on anymore doing these challenges, so I don't have to eliminate that background noise. I appreciate that was a little bit hard on the ears, shall we say, for a couple of videos, but I needed to be able to record and not be a puddle. And I'd rather get the video done and have fun while also not completely melting, instead of melting and not really having a good time of it and being a right whingy so-and-so. Talking of whingy so-and-sos, let's take one on. This is Whitney, she's gym leader number 3. Normal type specialist leads with Clefairy. Cross shop hits on the Clefairy. Does it hit on the Miltank? Yes, it does. We'll set fire to the cow to finish her off, and then we'll set fire to the Miltank as well. That is the playing badge in 9 minutes and 33 seconds. I was saying on stream recently that sub 10-minute Whitney is very, very, very good. So I'm incredibly happy about that. We'll get ourselves a squirt bottle and then we'll get up north. Gonna stay off the bike for this part of Spinner Hell so that we avoid the spinners. And then we'll get back on the bike for the rest of the movement. Didn't want to take on Alan, we'll take him on. He'll be very easy. And you never know, we might end up needing that experience much later on. I'm going to take on the Sudowoodo as well in that same ravine. Because it's going to be a very, very quick KO if I use the correct move. And it does get us a little bit of extra experience. I am trying to more strategically use some of these encounters to get better experience points. Let's pick up that ether as well. Been very lax on that ether lately and it's been screwing us over. Olivia's going to be good today. It's very rare that Olivia's good, but we've got Thunderbolt. It's going to be a one-shot. Same with Norman. We'll intentionally take on Norman and his pair of Slowpoke. That will get us a lovely set of experience points as well. In fact, we get another level from Norman there. Get the Minceberry, get the Cowpoo Nugget, and then we'll only do one of the married couple today. We'll only do Derek. We'll avoid a Ruth because we don't really have anything too great for Pikachu. And we've already taken on a couple of extra battles. I'm going to dodge the other Sailor as well in that same vein, just to save a little bit of time. Let's go and get our 11 Super Repels. We'll have a little chat with the Burly Man, get his phone number, and then we'll start ascending the lighthouse. Now, somebody said on stream a couple of days ago, it's very rare that they've seen the Noctowl in the first mandatory in the lighthouse get knocked out in one hit. So let's see if we can knock out the Noctowl in one hit today. Let's have a look. We can. That is a sign of just how good our Electivire is. And in terms of vitamins today, by the way, I'm probably going to mostly focus on the old calcium. Get our special trying to be level pegging with our physical. Think that will be the best play for this challenge. We'll have to see if that is the right play over the course of this one, but I think getting our special a little bit higher will be incredibly beneficial because our physical attack doesn't really need any help. We've got 123 in physical attack. That's higher than most of our really strong physical attacking runs. So yeah, I don't think we need any boost to that. Let's get ourselves back towards Olivine, not Olivine, the other one, Ecruteak City now. We'll go and take on the Kimono Girls first, and then we'll take on the rival afterwards. Not expecting anything too tricky here at the Kimono Girls. We are going to be relying on cross-chop landing for a couple of these, but the rest of the time we should be able to Thunderbolt fairly easily. We didn't get sand attacks there, which is the other big thing about that particular battle. Cross-chop on the Umbreon, it hits, so we get the one-shots. We're one-hitting a lot of the important ones, but we didn't one-hit the Miltank, unfortunately. This is definitely going to be a one-shot. Absolutely no two ways about it. Vaporeon was always going down, and we can probably one-hit with cross-chop on this Jolteon. Level 26 acquired. We'll go and chat with the green, not the green-haired man, the ugly man. The ugly man? He is an ugly man now. The man staring at the stage. I am so sorry if you're a fan of that man, but I've just called him ugly. Let us go and take on the ugly rival 3 now. He is going to lead this time with his Haunter. Hopefully we'll be able to one-shot this thing. I don't doubt that we will. And that moves us on to the Magnemite. We'll melt the Magnemite and then we'll incinerate the Bayleaf. Razor Leaf does a whole tiny bit of damage there. And then we'll set fire to the Zubat as well. Nice bit of arson here in the Burnt Tower. Thematic at least. Let's release the beast. It can't get burnt down anymore. We will go and grab the HP up, and then I'll get rid of the first set of trainers in Morty's gym. I will take on gym number 4. And with that all taken care of, we're on to Morty. Gym leader number 4, dual ghost and poison type spectacular leader. Leads with Ghastly. One hit on the Ghastly was to grow up to 29. Out comes the Haunter, it's another one shot. Gengar is next. Hypnosis did hit this time, but we were holding on to the Minceberry just in case. and down goes the second Haunter. That is another badge done in 15 minutes and 50 seconds. Let us now move onwards towards the Lake of Rage. And we will take on Pokemaniac Miller at the same time. Miller is very, very good experience, and we're not really hurtling through the levels at the moment. So we're going to take on these optional extras just to bolster our levels a little bit. Spend a little bit of time, invest a little bit of time and effort into training beforehand to make sure that we get the quicker battles later on. In the same vein, we're going to pick up an extra bitter berry just in case we need it, because it's a very, very quick berry to get. We are going to take on both Ron and his friend up there, who I've forgotten again, because names are hard. Is it Shane? It might be Shane, but then again it might not be. It's Ben. I don't know who Shane is. I know there is a Shane somewhere in here, but what a shame that he went down, even though he's called Ben, so that pun doesn't work. Let's take on the Gyarados. Of course it's going to be a one-hit. You'd expect nothing less. Red Scale acquired. Chat with Lance the Liar. Say yes to him so that we don't waste extra text boxes. And then, are we going to get lucky with the encounters? Yes, we are. Even a single encounter there is just about as quick as me menuing in the bag, to be fair. Plus, we don't get the extra Repel has worn off text later on. One rare candy acquired. We will then rent Labra back to Olivine City. We'll do a quick little heal here in this Pokemon Center, get on the bike for a little bit more, and then we are going to, first of all, hold on to a Bitterberry in preparation for Chuck, and we'll do a little bit of bag management, make sure that everything is in roughly the right position, get past Swimmer Kaylee so that we don't get interrupted by her, no interruptions in the water either. Get the secret potion from the man in the dodgy shop, and into our next gym we go. This is Chuck's fighting type gym, and we are going to fight fighting with fighting. Going to be using cross chop on a few of these Pokemon, hope for some easy KOs. Something like Hitmonchan though. Oh, you absolute slimy so-and-so. Please tell me I've got something that I can cure that with. I'm going to use the full restore, I don't care. We can get more full restores. Paralysis is so evil from that thing. Genuinely horrible that he did that, because I don't want to waste the extra Priscure berries just in case we need them. It's not like we should be getting status too often here in this run either. Our experience group has actually been the thing holding us back so far, because we've not got the early game levels, so everything is taking an extra hit compared to what I think it should be doing with our stats. With that in mind, let's now take on Chuck. Next gym leader. He is a fighting type specialist, led with Primate. I'm going to swap to the Magnet here. Oh, this one is not going as well as I thought so far, quite honestly. Maybe our special attack isn't quite as good as my brain thinks it is. We should be able to one-shot now, though, with the held item. Yeah, just like that. We get through Chuck. If that's the only real reset we get, I'll be happy. Shame we don't get 2 mint berries early on in this challenge. That would have made that a lot smoother and a lot more consistent. Let's get ourselves back to Olivine City now, though. And very quickly, before we go and face Jasmine, I'm going to do a little bit of housekeeping, just so that we've got the best chance of getting through her. So to show you what I do in the housekeeping, I do show it every so often. Start off here in Newbark, I go and grab the ladder. That's our waterfall analogue. It's the only item that isn't in the same place as it is in for the HM, and that's because there's no room where the HM is. So we put it where you need to use it instead. We'll get that, and we shall get this from here. So that's the rare candy and the PP up. Off to Azalea we go next. Go and chat with this bloke. He's going to give us a charcoal, and we are going to hold that right about now. And then I'll do the rest of the housekeeping in my next sweep, because now is the time to take on Jasmine, because I'm going to sell that charcoal for vitamin money as soon as we've beaten up Jasmine. So there's no sense in doing the rest of it now. Don't want to battle him either. Just want to get straight to Jazz. She's going to be our 6th gym leader today. We were talking about it on stream. I think the Lighthouse is supposed to be the analogue for her gym trainers, but it doesn't really pan out that way because of the huge level difference. Let's take her on. She is gym leader number 6. A steel type specialist who also specialises in not winning when you've got a single fire type move. This is going to be very, very, very easy for us. Critical hit finishes off the Steelix once and for all, and we get ourselves the mineral badge. 21-21 for the mineral badge. I'll now finish off the housekeeping and we'll meet back up for Pryce. We got a little bit unlucky there with the electrode. 2 of them went boom, but the 3rd one went down in a single hit, so we did lose a tiny bit of time through the rocket section, but not too much to worry about. And with that, we'll make our way in to Pryce's Ice-type gym. Hopefully this one will be fairly quick. I'm hoping for no protect here off the cloister. Fantastic. Growing up to level 37, let's now take on Pryce. Gym leader number 7, a supposed Ice-type specialist, leads with Seal. It's a 1-hit on the Seal. Out comes the Pile of Swine. We set fire to the Pile of Swine. It goes down in 1. And then we'll Thunderbolt the Dugong for the final hit. 3 one-shots for Pryce, would expect nothing less. And that does get us the Glacier Badge in 25 minutes and 50 seconds. Still not on a bad time. Not quite as low as I'd have hoped. But we're still in very, very good run territory. And I have a feeling that Electivire is one of those Pokemon that will only get better through time as opposed to worse. There are some Pokemon who peak early, and then there are some Pokemon who are a little bit of a slow burn, and I have a feeling that Electivire might fall into that latter category with its experienced group. I have dumped in a bunch of calcium. In fact, we've maxed out calcium for this challenge, so I'm hoping that will make a huge difference to our Electivire now. Definitely helped against good old Pryce there, and it helped in the rockets. It meant that we had 3 good moves, so we could conserve a little bit of PP throughout the course of the challenge. And that does now mean I can entirely focus on both physical attack and physical defense with the rest of the vitamins. I do want to get that PP up though. I think the PP up will come in very, very useful. Let's fly to Blackthorn now. We're going to remember to get our 11 max repels here. We can just about afford them, thank goodness for that. And then we'll get back on the bike and we'll start heading down south a little bit. Avoid her, she's very annoying to battle. I'm getting better at avoiding her. Not perfect, but better. And better is all you can really ask for in challenge running. I do want to pick up... Oh dear, there's a fish. Messed up my movement ever so slightly. There we go. The PP up, that's all I want. And then we'll pick up the extra Prayers Cure Berry just in case. With that, I'll do the rockets now and we'll meet back up for Rival 4. And so now we have made it through the first part of the rocket section, and that brings us into the 4th and penultimate rival battle. This time he is going to lead with his Golbat. We'll use Thunderbolt on the Golbat. It will be a 1-hit onto the Magnemite. We'll set fire to it with Flamethrower. That's another 1-shot. Out comes the Haunter. Thunderbolt is a 1-hit on that as we grow up to 41. We'll 1-hit the Sneasel with a Thunderbolt as well, and then we'll set fire to the Meganium. We burn it, but we have been poisoned because the rival has to be pesky like that, doesn't he? Not to worry, I'm sure we've got a heal in the bag. Yes, we have full heal just for that. We've been really unlucky actually with the statuses. We rarely get status these days in challenge runs, and we've had 2 so far this run. Let's hope they are the only 2 we will get for the remainder of the challenge now. We do have a lot of rockets coming up, so we are playing the quick attack gamble with this, and we're losing the gamble so far. I don't think the RNG likes our Electivire so much. Maybe it's seeing a Pokemon that shouldn't belong in the Johto region, and it's going, no, we're going to do everything we can to slow this thing down. We are fighting for the Johto native Pokemon and nothing else, but we will fight against the RNG the entire way. And so now we have just one more executive to face, and then Team Rocket's put to bed for another challenge. This is going to be fairly easy, I reckon. Hopefully a 1-shot here on the Houndoom. Yes, we get the 1-shot on the Houndoom, so we do get through. And with that, we have defeated Team Rocket once and for all with Electivire. Let's now progress through as quickly as we can because we want to get towards Blackthorn City and eventually the Pokemon League. We mustn't forget the radio card though. It is 112, 1 and 2. That is how you get the radio card. And that is going to be imperative for us to get past the Snorlax in about 20 minutes time, I want to say. For now, let's start taking on some of the trainers here in Clair's gym. We should have hopefully enough Ice Punches to see us through. We do have Ethers. Should we require them, we'll Ice Punch this first set of Dratini. No Thunder Wave for Cool Trainer Paul there. And then we can use Thunderbolt against this Seadra. This should be a nice, easy one-shot. Seadra's very, very good in the old physical defense department, I've noticed, but not quite so good in the special defense department. And we'll take full advantage of that. On to Cool Trainer Cody. He's the one that whinges because he doesn't have any real dragons, when he could easily go and get a Dragonair anywhere around these parts. Maybe he doesn't have a fishing rod. Maybe that's his issue. It's lack of equipment. We've got a single Dragonair here. Of course, it's going to be a one-shot as we grow up to 46. And I'm going to use an Ether now so I don't forget. On our Ice Punch, so we're back up to a full PP there. And we'll move Ice Punch into top spot for the next couple of battles. One hit apiece on these Dragonair, and that means we can now take on Clair. Clair is our final Jotonian leader. She's a Dragon-type specialist, leads with Dragonair. One hit to get us started, one hit to progress us even further, and then one hit on the third Dragonair. She's got a Kingdra up next. I reckon we start off with an Ice Punch, and then we go for a Thunderbolt, so that she does not Healing Loop, and we save a little bit of time. We don't have the badge yet, though. She is a right whingy cow, so we do have to leave, and we have to do some extra nonsense, even though we've earned the badge, because she likes breaking the rules, apparently, here in the Johto region. We've got one more Dragonair. This is actually the gym leader. You have to face him before you get the gym badge, so technically, you could say he is the obstacle between us and the gym badge, therefore he should be the gym leader. And with that, we will go and answer 11212 again. And that will eventually get us the Rising Badge, the final of our 8 Jotonian badges for this challenge. There we go, Clair has relented, time of 35:36 for the Rising Badge. Shut up, Clair, we're done with you. We can't teach TMs, you're just wasting our time. We know where to go, and we know where we want to tell you to go as well. Oh, now Elm's whinging at us as well. Shut up, everyone. We've got a league to face. We do not care for your waffle and filler in this game. All we care about is getting there as fast as we possibly can. Gonna take on just a couple of trainers on the way up to the league. Gonna take on Arena. She's a very, very good experience, and she should be a fairly easy battle. Thunderbolts on the Starmie, then Ice Punch on the Nidoqueen, and then back to Thunderbolts on Starmie number 2. Very, very easy battle there, and you know what, we'll take on the Fisher as well, considering he has some water types, so it should be a quick and easy battle to get us closer to 48, which is going to be nice for the league. I'm hoping to get to the league around about 49. Used to be that I'd not feel too confident if we were anything below 50 at the league, but my confidence has definitely increased over the years playing these challenges, and now I'm A-okay doing level 49 at the league, even level 45 I think. We've done on a couple of occasions with the stronger Pokemon. The thing is to go in when you're confident enough that you're going to one-shot everything, or at least most things in there, and if you haven't got that confidence, then it means you've not done enough trainers in the Johto section, so go back and do it bloody again. That's the way I learn anyway. Oh, we do want the HP up. Let's grab that. Then let's go and take the rival on for one last battle. He's going to lead this time with his Sneasel. We'll use Thunderbolts on the Sneasel. It will be a one hit. We'll swap to Flamethrower for the Magneton. That goes down in one. We'll set fire to the Haunter as well, and that brings us on to the Kadabra. One hit on the Kadabra. Here comes the Meganium. And once again, we are just slightly shy of one-shotting that bloody thing. Didn't get poisoned this time though, so we do get through first try. And that means we are now at the Pokemon League. We're going to buy a bunch of full restores, and then we're going to go straight into the league. Our first league member is Will. He is a psychic type specialist, leads with Xatu. So one hit to get us started on the Xatu. Out comes the Jinx. Flamethrower one-shots her, so he's going to try with Executor. Another one-shot gets us through the Executor as we grow to 50. Thunderbolt on the Slowbro is a one-shot, and then one-shot on the Xatu. Will down. Up next is going to be Koga, the poison-type specialist, who's going to lead with Ariados. Hopefully we can use our Flamethrower here as well for some good use. It's a one-hit there, out comes the Fortress, and it gets melted for scrap. We will melt the Venomoth as well, and that brings us on to Muck. Probably going to be a two-shot on the Muck. Acid Armor is perfect. That is the best move that Muck could have gone for. One hit on the Crobat, and we say goodbye to Koga. Third up on the chopping block is going to be Bruno. He is a fighting type specialist who's going to lead with his Hitmon top. We'll try a Thunderbolt. We don't quite one-shot, so we are going to take a little bit of damage from a dig here. He's trying to slow us down because we've been really fast so far. We'll one-hit the Onyx, and then we are on to the Hitmonlee. Cross Chop is a one-shot on the Hitmonlee. Take a bit of damage from a Mach Punch there, but we one-shot the Hitmonchan. On to the Machamp. We Thunderbolt. His Cross Chop misses, thank goodness. Growing up to 52, and that is Koga defeated. Some prep work now for Karen, starting off with all 5 of the rare candies that we have obtained up until this point. We will then use a full restore. We'll use a HP up, and we'll also hold on to the Bitterberry. And with that, it is time for Karen. She is our next and final Elite Four member, leads with Umbreon. We missed. The one time we desperately needed our cross chop to hit, we bloody missed. We get it this time though, and it is a one-shot. On to the Vileplume we go. We'll set fire to that, and it goes down in 1. On to the Gengar. We one-hit. That is looking good so far. Probably not going to be a one-shot on the Houndoom. She is healing looping, but I'd rather do this than worry about the effects of the cross shot missing, because we can then Ice Punch the Murkrow. Very good stuff there. I meant to Elixir as well, but I forgot. But we made it through just fine. Regardless, that does bring us on to Lance the Liar with the Flyers. He is the final obstacle between us and the Hall of Fame. He leads with Gyarados. Thunderbolt on the Gyarados is going to be a one-shot. Dragonite number 1 comes out. It's going to be a one-hit with Ice Punch. Dragonite number 2 comes out. It's going to be a one-hit with Ice Punch. Dragonite number 3 comes out. It's going to be a one-hit with Ice Punch. Back to Thunderbolt we go now for the Scarodactyl and the Charizard. And that is our route to victory against Lance. Very easy battle there. Only one reset through the league, and that was because of the 1 in 5 miss for Cross Chop. Not a bad little Johto overall. Lance's time is 41.13, and our Hall of Fame time is 41.27. Let's now take a look at the leaderboards. As always, I don't know the results going into this, so let's find out together. Electivire on our 4 moves midpoint leaderboard is in first place. Bloody hell. Oh, that is so remarkable, considering we had such a shaky start at times. I think that means it's going to be in first place as well on our overall leaderboard, not just 4 moves. Very surprised at that. Even though we had a couple of rocky moments, I guess the movement and other parts of the challenge must have been a lot better than I thought. So yeah, I think we can still do even better with Electivire, or should I say Electivire, through this part of the challenge, but I am not unhappy with how that went, especially because that is the fastest I have ever defeated the Hall of Fame here in the Johto region. But this is only half of the story. It could still all fall apart in a major way, as we've seen time and time again here on the channel. We do still have another 8 gym badges plus the red fight left to come in this challenge. So I really hope you won't go anywhere, because Kanto is next. And now we're rejoining the action as we always do here in Vermilion City, where the first thing we'll do in Kanto is get ourselves a rare candy from the chairman of the Pokemon fan club. With that safely tucked in our bag, we are going to start our Cantonian gauntlet of gym leaders. Going to do them in a slightly different order to normal today. Electric types generally don't have a good time doing Surge first, so we'll come back to Surge later, and our first leader is going to be Erica today. She is a grass type specialist, so it's going to be a fairly easy ride. We're going to put Flamethrower and Ice Punch in the easily accessible slots for now as well, just so that we can get through this gym as quickly as we possibly can. Not sure when we're going to do Surge. I might even save him until the very end, because I don't want to risk anything at all with Surge, and he's definitely going to be the hardest leader we face here in Kanto. I am a little bit worried about Misty's Quagsire as well, but I can tell you why I'm that worried about Misty's Quagsire. There's just something about it, maybe because it is just ground type, that makes me think it could be tricky. But yes, Erica is going to be gym leader number 1. She is a grass type specialist, led with Tangela that went down in one. It's going to be a bunch of one-shots in this gym, I reckon. Can't see it's going any other way, really, than that. Yep, one-shots all over the place to get us our first Cantonian badge. Rainbow badge in 43:49. We'll get out of here, we'll get back on the bike, and we'll start heading towards Cycling Road, because we'll do Janine next. Janine's a nice and easy one to take on next. Never have too many issues at all with Janine, especially when you outspeed her Crobat. Her Crobat is the single most threatening thing about her, and even then, that's not that threatening in general. So let's get in here and let's take her on. She is a poison type specialist. She also specialises in a bit of the old nepotism. Leads with Crobat. One hit to get us started on the Crobat. Out comes the Weezing. We'll use Ice Punch on Weezing number 1. We'll use Ice Punch on Weezing number 2 as well, growing up to 61 there. Flamethrower on the Ariados, of course it's going to go down in 1. And she wastes her money with a dire hit. And we get through Janine. Soul Badge in 44:48. Let's now make our way back to Saffron City, where we're going to take on our next gym leader. We're going to take on Sabrina right about now. I'm hoping that if we swap to the good old Magnet, then we'll have a fairly good time of it with Sabrina. Famous last words and all, she does have fairly good special defense, but I'm hoping at level 61 we'll be absolutely fine. Gym leader number 3 here in Kanto leads with her Peskeon. We one-shot the Peskeon, that's a very good start. We one-shot the Mr. Mime as well, and then I think we're going to one-shot the Alakazam. Yep, perfect. Sabrina goes down, and the Marsh Badge is acquired. Let's get the heck out of here now, get the right way out of here, and then we'll get back on the bike, and we'll go up towards Rock Tunnel, and then towards the power plant. Still not quite figured out the timing for him. There will be timing that works, but I don't bloody know what it is yet. We will get there eventually, though. Right, I will skip ahead to the other side of this tunnel. Kinda lost confidence a little bit doing that rock tunnel. It was a smooth one, but I was overthinking every move. I've got a little bit caught up in my own head about this run. Getting that unexpected PB through the Hall of Fame, it's getting to me slightly, because I know we're in potential for a very good run here, but I'm going to try and not focus on it, and we've got a really easy section coming up now, because we're going to do a Nugget Bridge. A Nugget Bridge, even though it's kind of boring, it's a little bit of mental breathing room when you're in a run, so I kind of appreciate it these days, especially because I do everything live. Like, nothing is pre-recorded in these runs, it's all done as live. So I am very grateful for this little bit of mental breathing room to regather my thoughts and to remember what I need to do next. I'm not sure still about Surge. I think I am just going to save him until probably after Blaine. I reckon we should be good there, and then we'll take on Blue last, so that we still get fairly good movement through the last part of the challenge. Gotta remember to take him on though after Blaine. It's so ingrained in me to go straight to Blue, but I'm sure we'll be absolutely fine. And that's something I am working on as well. My mental state, especially in things like Supermon, it can take a bit of a battering, because they say there's no critic harsher on yourself than your own self, and that's definitely the case for me. So I do need to allow myself to give a little bit of credit where credit is due for these runs, because they are kind of difficult. Even though Gen 2 is a fairly easy run, there is still an awful lot to remember, unlike, say, Hoenn or Generation 3 Kanto, where there are only 8 gym badges and not too much in the way of complex movement. There is a lot I have to keep in mind throughout this, and I'm always trying to think like 3 or 4 badges ahead. We were talking about this on stream. One of the reasons I don't like backseating on stream is because while we're facing Misty now, I'm thinking about Brock, I'm thinking about Blaine, thinking about what I want to do for them. So if somebody jumped in and said, oh, use this move for Misty, then suddenly I'm all out of whack and all out of kilter. Amnesia's fine, nothing to worry about with this Quagsire after all. We'll swap back to Thunderbolt now. One shot the Lapras, it's not going to sing at us today, and we'll get rid of the Starmie. Misty goes down 48.55 or thereabouts for her badge, 48.56 on the overlay split. Let us use the bloody Rentalabra now, not any of the other nonsense that I was going for there, and we'll make our way back towards the power plants. This Max Repel will see us all the way through until Pewter City. It's probably the most efficient Max Repel that we have here in our Cantonian routing. It really does serve a very, very strong purpose. We go there, we go and chat with the director of the radio tower here in Kanto, then we go into Vermilion City, get on the bike, have a little chat with the Snorlax, and go onto the Pokeflute channel to make sure it can wake up. I'm not a big fan of the radio card version of this. I'd rather have the Pokeflute and just have a press A to interact with Snorlax, because it is very stressful doing that part, but we have made it through. Into our next gym. This is Brock's Rock-type gym. Gonna plonk Ice Punch in top spot for this, as we take on Camper Jerry, and then we'll take on Brock himself. Gym leader number of 16 leads with Graveler, 1 hit on the Graveler. He's going to send out his Rock Grounds first, and then he's going to send out his Water types, which means we only have to change move once in this battle, which does save a teeny tiny bit of time. I am going to move Thunderbolt back to top spot though for the Kabutops, and that is Brock defeated. Boulder Badge in 50 minutes and 35 seconds. Let's get off the bike now so that we can get past 3 Drill. And we've got Blaine, Blue, and Surge left to go. Starting off with Blaine next. We're going to do that and that to save a bit of awkward movement. And we're also going to dip into the Pokemon Center there. And that means we don't have to worry about fumbling in the fly menu, other than going to Vermilion now. The rest of it will be teleports and Pallet Town, which is a simple up press. Kanto's fly menu is actually really, really nice. For most of the time, you just press up. There are a couple of times you press up more than once, but they are rare rather than common. Blaine is next. Macargo is his first Pokemon. It's a 1-hit. Onto the Bumhead Fireduck. 1 more 1-hit. Rapidash is third. 1-shot City. We get through Blaine and we do get the Volcano badge. Let's move on to Surge next in Vermilion City. So we'll go and chop down this tree. We have Gentleman Gregory to take care of first. Eggy Greggy here with his Pikachu. We'll Thunderbolt the Pikachu. And then we'll also use a Flamethrower on the Fluffy. Must remember to go and use an Elixir when we're next in the bag, but we shouldn't need it for Surge. Penultimate Gym Leader leads with Raichu. 1 shot on the Raichu, that's a very good start. Should be a 1 shot on the Electrode. No doubt about that. Absolutely going to be a 1 shot on the Magneton as we grow up to 65. 1 shot on the second Electrode, and out comes the Electabuzz. Cross Chop misses, Light Screen's fine though. We get the 1 hit on turn number 2, and that is the Thunder Badge acquired. Let's do a very, very quick heal. We'll do that, and we'll do that. And then we'll Rental Abra back to Viridian City. Final Gym Leader time. Let's take him on. This is Blue. He is a mixed type specialist, and he's going to lead with his Pidgeot. We're going to put Thunderbolt back in top spot now. We one-hit the Pidgeot with Thunderbolt. On to the Rhydon. We've got Ice Punch. It's got no special. Of course, it's going away. Alakazam is third. Interesting. Wouldn't have thought that. We get the one hit, though. Perfect. Flamethrower the Executor. Doubt that's going to survive anything at all. Onto the Arcanine. This is going to be a two-shot, I reckon. He's in Healing Loop range, though, which is absolutely fine by me. He can waste a few seconds here. We've got enough Thunderbolts for his Gyarados. And that is that for Blue. That is our last Gym Badge, Earth Badge in 53-25. Let's use a full Restore. Let's use a Max Elixir. Let's use a Super Repel. And let's Air Balloon over to Pallet Town. Have a little chat with Professor Oak. We have all 16 badges. We're not doing a Noctowl here. And we can go and grab our last bit that we need for this challenge, which is going to be on route number 26, I want to call it. Might be not 26, it might be 28. Close, but no banana for the route. Not going to do the complex movement. Don't need to heal. We are going to just go straight in for this final item. And I'll now meet you for Red. And so we have now made it in front of Red. He is the final trainer of the challenge. He leads with his Pikachu. Let us cross-chop this Pikachu, get rid of it in one. On to the Peskeon we go. What do we do here? I reckon we Thunderbolt and hope for the best. Psychic is probably good there, actually. I'd rather have Psychic than anything else. Cross-chop the Snorlax. Do a lot of damage. 2 shots on the Snorlax. Venusaur is next. Flamethrower does a lot of damage. He takes in Sunlight. We have no sunny day. That is really good as we're onto the Zard. We one-hit the Zard. Last Pokemon is Blastoise. It's probably going to be a 2-shot here. Surf does not crit. And we defeat Red in 55-24. Goodness me, what a good Pokemon Electivire is. As always, I don't know where we're going to be on the leaderboard. I haven't checked. I've just put its data in to our leaderboard. Let's see, where are we? Second, third? First place. Right, okay. First place for our Electivire. We are just ahead of Zangoose there. We've broken yet another minutes barrier here in 4 moves. This series brings out the best in certain Pokemon. And that is definitely true for our Electivire here. Let's do the formality of putting it on the overall leaderboard as well. We have another first place finish. We have been doing so blooming well lately in 4 moves. And in fact, our next sub-hour run is going to mean that every run on our front page is sub-hour 4 moves. That is ludicrous. It feels like only a couple of months ago where sub-hour felt special, it felt unique. I remember that first Scyther run thinking, oh, it's finally happened. And now, I'm a little bit disappointed if we're not pushing sub-hour at the end of these runs. But I've had a lot of fun in this one. I feel like that was probably about as well as Electivire could have gone. Had good cross-chop luck in most places. Couple of quick resets. Could probably optimise a little bit. But I don't think we need to. We've got a personal best. And that's all we can really ask for with Electivire. You can see their 170th place for a very, very old at this point, almost 4 years old, Electabuzz challenge. But that just shows how much we have improved. The runs you're seeing now were towards the top part of the leaderboard 4 years ago. And now look at it, we're in the very, very dregs, the nosebleed section of the leaderboard. But with that, we are done for another one. So I'm going to say thank you all so much for watching. It's been a pleasure as always. These videos are not possible without your support, so I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, whatever it is you're going to get up to. And we'll catch up again very, very soon.